Hey everybody, it's Kellen Nitro for Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Just want to come out ahead of this podcast and just say that the following podcast deals with real life tragedy and a real life event. So listener and viewer discretion is advised. We will be talking about some serious subjects here. So please, if you are offended by such or whatever, this podcast may not be for you. So just go and check out some of our other stuff on the channel. Otherwise, enjoy the show, everybody. See you on the other side.
You got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.
I am here. That's not here. I got to take that down. Hey, there we go. I'm here. Hey, everybody. It's Kellen Nitro here for Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, coming at you live with another classic Nitro's take here today on the channel on Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. So if this is your first time ever clicking into one of these episodes, we're basically like Oprah's book club, but for wrestling nerds. So we go around a horn. This time it's the next person I'm going to bring in's turn to pick the show. So he picked this one. He picked WWF Over the Edge, 1999. Mr. TL, first of all, how are you, sir?
I am not too bad. And even though we're not supposed to exactly date these ones because these don't really matter when we've done these.
No, people listen to them when we're watching whenever. So
exactly. But at the time of this recording, the Blue Jays are still in the playoffs for now.
Mm-hmm.
It is Diwali, so happy Diwali.
That's right. Happy.
And I'm all prepared with my Diwali sweets, baby.
Oh, nice.
I will partake of that on your behalf, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's go going on this one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's October as we record this, and October is mega time for sports fans because you got baseball playoffs, you got the NBA getting ready to start here like next weekish, something like that, and the NHL is in full force. We got NHL games going as we record, as we speak, so it's all good in the hood. We'll bring in our third here. He is Mr. Craig P. Frazier, who the way we have it structured is I'm kind of the more hardcore wrestling fan. The TL, we call him the lovable lapsed wrestling fan, and Craig is our newbie. So let's bring forth the noob.
Yeah! Don't forget the other Toronto team. Big time blue energy over here in the new office background.
I was going to say yes. It's upgraded since last time. Yes, for sure. Yes. So yeah, definitely big time blue energy. Love the background. By the way, it looks great. I
painted it myself.
That's awesome. Arts and crafts time with Craig P. Frazier. So there we go.
And happy Diwali. Happy Diwali.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? This is kind of a neat little tie-in because one of Owen Hart's favorite sports cities was Toronto. You see him throughout the years make entrances prior to this event tonight, unfortunately. And fortunately, you saw him walk out with like Argonauts jerseys and Leafs jerseys when they were in Toronto all the time and that stuff and so on and so forth. And he loved going to Toronto Argos games and Maple Leafs games whenever the WWF was in town there too. So this is kind of a cool little tie-in. It is WWF Over the Edge 1999, May 23rd, 1999. We're taking a look at tonight. It emanated from the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. It is one of the most infamous days in wrestling history, and much like we did with the Bash at the Beach show in 1996 that we did, all three of us had never seen this pay-per-view in full. We knew what happened on the pay-per-view, obviously, but we've never seen the show in full front to back prior to watching it for this year podcast. So, Craig, I won't ask you this question because I know you're brand new getting back into it, but if you have any feedback, feel free to jump in and do so. But Mr. TL, what were you doing this day on this day that this pay-per-view was doing? Were you watching this pay-per-view, or did you hear about this news secondhand?
I heard about this news secondhand.
Okay.
I never got the pay-per-views live.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I would always have to wait till the Monday to get the tape from my buddy who had a box.
Okay, yes.
Who would then record the thing, give it to me on Monday. I try to run through that as fast as I could before the Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Now,
exactly.
On this particular one, I did not have the tape or anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you just heard. So you just heard word of mouth.
Now, for some reason, what date was this?
This was May 23rd, 1999. So if we dial up a calendar, and I was wondering about this too, if this fell on the Victoria Day holiday up here or not.
I think it did.
Because
here's my story about this.
1999, Googling. Go ahead and do this.
Well, here's how I remember it. I remember waking up and it was not a school day, which is odd because pay-per-views are always on a Sunday. But I woke up and my brother was asking me, "Hey, where's your Owen Hart action figure?" And I was still asleep, so I'm just like, "Nah, it's under the bed somewhere." And then I had no idea what happened. And then he grabbed the action figure, and I woke up later on and saw that we had a paper in the house, and the front page had announced that Owen Hart had passed away at the night before pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Then it wasn't until Raw that night that we saw what happened and the Raw is Owen and everything like that.
Yep.
But yeah, I did not know until I woke up that morning. My brother was asking me for this very figure right here.
Oh, that's awesome. So you have the caution tape gear, Owen.
This is the Nation of Domination Owen Hart.
Nation of Domination Owen Hart. Yes, absolutely. You've kept that in remarkably clean condition, sir.
Yeah. I mean, hasn't been like played with or touched or whatever since he passed.
I have the 1997. No, it'd be the 96 two-time Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart action figure from Jackson.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
It's a little bit more marked up than that one, but
this one might be the last one that they were ever produced while he was alive.
Yeah, because I don't think they ever produced anything with because he was doing obviously the Owen Hart OH gimmick on the tights, right?
Yeah, and he didn't do that for very long.
No, that was like a very short run. I want to say the last couple of months before he passed.
And they were already kind of doing the Blue Blazer thing with him. So and they never did a Blue Blazer action figure.
No, they didn't. Not until I don't think they've ever done a Blue Blazer action figure at all. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure Big Rubber Guys that's Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins' company have even done a reissued Blue Blazer action figure, even though they've done the
I'm not sure if they'd
Owen Hart ones for AEW, right? So
yeah, I'm not sure if they'd want to.
Yeah,
but this might be the very last one that they made while he was still with the company.
Yeah. And Craig, what do you know of the lore of that day?
Well, I would have been 8 years old at the
time.
So
that's why I was asking.
I was pretty small.
Yeah.
But I do remember hearing, because I was watching wrestling, not as I wasn't watching every week, but I was checking in on wrestling whenever I could, because I thought it was kind of cool. I was secretly watching wrestling because I thought because I remember hearing things like "suck it," and I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to hear that. I don't want my mom and dad to find out I'm watching this.
Fair enough.
Or something like that. But I did remember it was in the newspaper, I think, when I read about it, and I remember my dad mentioned, because I was like, oh, and I remember my dad talking about it. Admittedly, it wasn't really much followed in my house. I do remember hearing that guy died at a wrestling show. We didn't really know how, And I didn't really look into it again until I was actually a little bit older when I was watching wrestling more. And I was like, oh shit, like I didn't realize he actually fell. And all that wasn't, I thought it was like a bad move, like a botched move.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then finding it was like his entrance and stuff, I was like, ooh, that's really scary.
Yeah, which is how Perro Aguero Jr. passed away in Mexico, and
Misawa.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the Japanese legend that passed away in Japan. How they were both botched moves, but yeah, this was a stunt gone wrong, and we'll get to it right away. To answer your initial question, Victoria Day in 1999, Mr. TL was on Monday, May 24th. So I would have had a day to digest this and then went back to school on Tuesday because I was out at a family function that Sunday, found out on the news because they all gathered around to watch the news, the late news at the end of the night and that stuff. Tried to digest that, and then the next day just probably tuned in on Sports Center and stuff and watched all the like CNN coverage of it and everything because they've still had 24-hour news back then, right? So it just wasn't on the internet as much. It was more through the cable television and everything. So that's how I found out, and then of course watched Raw that night on TSN, whatever time it was, probably late, like 8 o'clock or something, or 10 or whatever it was. So, booyah. Yeah, this kind of sucks too, as it was the first pay-per-view to emanate from the Kemper Arena in both WWF or WCW history. Fun little fact here that I found while digging up some stuff for this is that it was overlooked to the last second in 98 for Milwaukee because Milwaukee hosted the 98 Over the Edge. They couldn't get the Kemper Arena in 98 for the pay-per-view because there was a concert booking the night that they wanted to do the pay-per-view. Apparently the Family Values Tour with Korn and Limp Bizkit had booked the building. So yeah, so there we go. The only way you can watch this show, if you do choose to watch the show, everybody, is on Peacock or Netflix. And the Netflix Peacock version is 10 minutes shorter than the actual runtime of the pay-per-view. So the Netflix Peacock version is 2 hours and 22 seconds. The pay-per-view is 2 hours and 33 seconds. Of course, we'll discuss why when we get up to the accident. They've cut out the accident on the Netflix Peacock version as you go in and watch it. As we get to that point, we'll talk more. But I ended up watching both versions to see what had changed and what they cut out. And I think I provided links to both versions for both of you guys as well. So whatever you guys watched, good. But anyway, go ahead.
I did have one thing to add. You mentioned it's interesting that it was the Family Values Tour in 99 that was going through that arena in Milwaukee at the time, because exactly 2 months after this was Woodstock 99, and that was Korn and Limp Bizkit, and that was when Limp Bizkit went on stage, and they had that incident after as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So this was kind of a year of some rough tragedies and unfortunate events happening.
Yeah, on a Saturday of Woodstock 99. Yeah, and I remember watching that live on Much Music because they did like a 24-hour kind of broadcast of everything from Woodstock 99 at that event. So yeah, I remember seeing that for sure. I might actually even have that off air on tape somewhere. I'll have to look in the archive and see, because I used to tape everything when I was a kid, just as a hobby. So but anyways, we'll get into the opening of the show. Nice 90s computer graphics with the Undertaker symbol and a rattlesnake wrapping itself around it. I thought that was kind of cute.
So 90s
at the time, but
it kind of made me laugh. I was just like, you had some of the most epic wrestling storylines happening at this time with just the worst graphic packages just because of the technology at the time.
It wasn't just the graphic package being horrible. It's the entire thing of like 1-800 presents Over the Edge. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
So first of all, 1-800-collect. We should explain for the younger listeners and that stuff. That was a way that you could phone.
Hey, wow.
Yeah.
No lore.
That's right.
We do not need the lore of 1-800-collect.
We won't get into the lore of 1-800-collect, but
all you need to know is they were the sponsor of the show, and that's how they used to open the shows, was this super Undertaker-y, I'm the devil type package.
Yeah.
And then it flips over to the guy going, "Oh, Over the Edge 99 presented by 1-800-COLLECT." I'm
Yeah.
like, what the you guys don't know how to introduce shit.
Apparently, you could send away, if you provided copy from your cable bill that you ordered the pay-per-view, for an Undertaker pendant from the WWF as well with this. So
It's like
Yes,
a prize in
that
the
was-
cereal box type deal.
yeah,
Yes.
basically, yeah. So you could get addresses to get, they send their catalogs and stuff out to. But anyways, there we go. Opening contest. We'll get right into the show here. First we'll bring it up. No fanfare today, just Tate. At the bottom of the screen is the Nitromaniac TV's Undertaker. It's got all the news and results from the matches that did occur on this card. If you decide to take a look and see what you think. So there, and the run times and everything. So the opening contest on the pay-per-view. We should also explain that we were knee deep in the era of Sunday Night Heat with this. So they used Sunday Night Heat as the pre-show for all their pay-per-views during this era. So there were free matches on the pre-show Sunday Night Heat on the USA Network. Meat, who was Sean Stasiak, defeated Brian Christopher in a singles match in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, defeated the Blue Meanie and Goldust in 5:53. And then and this one I did a double take for, like, why did this happen? But then it explains it off the top of the show. Midian versus Mr. McMahon in a singles match ended in a no contest in 2:51 when the corporate ministry came down and kayfabe broke Vince's ankle in a pre-show angle because Vince was supposed to be one of the two guest referees in the title match tonight. Basically, main event, Stone Cold Undertaker WWF Championship. Shane McMahon, he's running the corporate ministry. He's going to be a ref. And Vince McMahon, who's now a face owner of the company again, is going to be the second ref. So the two refs, the warring McMahon family is at war, is one of the storylines going on here at this point. And Vince is out because his ankle is broken or compromised to some degree, I guess. So that's that. But opening contest, Kane and X-Pac defeating D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry with Ivory. The tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championship, 14:45. Gentlemen, I hold it over to you. Go ahead. What do you think?
I thought this was an okay opening match. You got some great workers in there with Kane and D'Lo, and a green Mark Henry, but I mean, like, still a tremendous athlete. X-Pac, I think, as much as maybe he's kind of a goof, like he's still, I think he still performed really well in this match. He can still, a lot of his, I think he overall is a good wrestler because of his ability and showmanship. I mean, if anything, maybe he's a bit annoying, but no, I thought there you go. That would be why. But no, I don't know. I thought it was a good opening match. Like, for a pay-per-view, this would settle me into my seat and be like, all right, we're here to watch some wrestling.
The X-Pac Kane storyline is fresh at this point, so it hasn't had the summer to kind of stale itself and make itself kind of, I guess, give it the X-Pac heat rather that that we would become accustomed to in the early 2000s and everything, of just him being in angles for too long and that stuff. So this is still a fresh union, if you will, and they had just won the tag titles, so they were kind of like unlikely partners one night to win the tag titles, and they won the tag titles, I think, from the corporation, and they are the tag champs, but they were freshly minted tag champs. And of course, you open with a D'Lo Brown match. You can't help but smile at D'Lo Brown at this time. Just, it's the human bobblehead at WWF at this point. And exactly. And, it kind of shows you how far Mark Henry comes in his career at this point. Mark Henry at this point kind of is just the ride along for D'Lo. And he, in 2005, watch out, just throws it into high gear after a lot of struggles in that company, right? So
I do have to say, though, in this iteration of Mark Henry, he doesn't look fat.
No,
he looks like the Thing.
He's strongman big.
Yeah.
He's Braun Strowman at this point.
Yeah, but Braun Strowman still had like smaller arms and legs and
good
torso.
point. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, he's
Braun
still got
Strowman to me was more actually tubby.
makes sense. Yeah. I can
This
see
looks
that.
like the biggest bouncer you've ever had to walk through to get
Yeah.
into a club.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, like in 2005, when he comes back, he starts looking like the Predator, and that's scary enough as it is.
But even then, like he starts to get like that, he starts to get that gut and that width.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
here he's like that super
Stocky.
strongman build.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're right. For as limited as he was, he did everything really well.
He press slams Kane.
Yes, he does.
Impressive as all hell. Like he press
slams
Kane.
people, catching
Yeah.
people. He's doing tag team moves and little spy things and hooking X-Pac by his legs and pulling him into the post. Like,
Yeah.
he's doing pretty good. Like, this is a good iteration of him.
Yeah.
That being said, has all his shenanigans as sexual chocolate already happened?
Yes. That went down in the first bit of it. It kind of splits. So it goes
Okay, basically, when does the
know.
Mae Young nonsense happen?
Oh,
the Mae Young, like later that year, I think in 99. So
Oh,
like
Lord.
we're talking fall of 99 there. So
Okay, so that's where they messed him up. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. exactly. So
Gross.
So the start of the sexual chocolate stuff is like 98, and then it goes into 99.
Where he doesn't do anything except call himself sexual chocolate.
That's right. Yeah.
It doesn't get weird until
Yeah.
later on this year.
Yeah. It's a funny nickname until it gets weird. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
good
no
point.
one's laughing after that one.
Oh no, absolutely. So yeah, so we have a solid opener to open things up there. We go to the back to hear an update on Vince McMahon. Michael Cole says Vince won't be able to serve as special guest ref in the main event, and that he'll have more as the night progresses. And he's in the classic Mean Gene spot outside of a trainer's room, waiting for more information from the trainer, obviously. And then we go to Kevin Kelly, who's handling all the backstage interviews tonight. He is interviewing Hardcore Bob Holly. I guess he beat up Al Snow's imaginary friend or something. That's the creative he's rolling with going into this Hardcore Championship rematch from February's St. Valentine's Day Massacre show.
I need to say something
Mhm.
and interrupt this lore.
Sure.
Bob Holly might be, in my opinion, one of the worst talent that has ever come to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The worst. And I'll tell you why.
Wow. Okay.
No, let me explain. He is an awful promo. You don't give a damn what he's saying. He's not believable. Okay?
Mm.
When he gets in the ring, he actually hurts people.
He's the Hurt Business.
The only claim to fame is that he has a nice drop kick. Ooh.
Yeah.
A move you pull out once and it's not a finisher. That's like
which,
saying you have a nice snapmare. Ooh.
which became the second best drop kick when Randy Orton debuted. And then everyone's like, hey, Orton's drop kick's actually nicer.
And then the third best when Dolph Ziggler. Now listen.
That's right.
So his wrestling is stiff.
Mhm.
And it's also not believable because all he does is hardcore nonsense. He
Yeah.
is not really hardcore. It's just in his name. He looks like a moron. He sounds like a moron. What does he bring to the table that he is such
I
a
don't
big
know.
part of this company for years?
Uh,
One of
you
the
know,
worst ever, in my opinion.
it's almost, you wonder whose nude pictures he had, for blackmail purposes, right? So
Yeah. Did Pat Patterson do a little some to him backstage and he had
who
a job
knows,
forever?
right?
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Craig, but
And speaking of lore, he came in as a NASCAR driver.
yes.
Yeah.
Spark plug Bob Holly
Sparky plug. I've had first.
with long hair and thin as X-Pac.
Yeah.
And then
And
he
then
took roids and got medium.
And then he became a tag team champion with Marty Jannetty too for like a night.
Good Lord.
Well, they also they always, like a lot of other wrestlers say, like Bob Holly, he was one of the guys that, like, if they had like newer wrestlers that were coming in that were like maybe not quite understanding, like, hey, there's a method to this business. You don't just come in here and start lording around, right? We're gonna have to have somebody come in there and like straighten you out a little bit. Like they would tap Bob Holly.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't think Benoit and even Guerrero got reps like that too, that like they would go out there with the green guys and
No, yeah,
know,
exactly.
be a little
Hollywood beat the shit out of these young guys, the green guys, just to let them know, like, hey, the business is real. It's like,
So,
yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Just quickly, Craig, Mr. TL can attest to this, is there used to be a B show in the early 2000s on WWF or WWE then called Velocity.
Yep.
Bob Holly was in the main event of Velocity, I swear, for like 12 or 15 weeks in a row. Like, it was always a Bob Holly, Hardcore Holly match to end that show with somebody
that he would be too stiff with.
Yeah. Or like a young kid on the way up or something. Yeah.
But also because it's the hardcore era and he's Hardcore Holly, he just beats the shit out of people with weapons.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do any actual wrestling, and when he does, he hurts people. And he's not from ECW, but he's somehow hardcore.
Yeah.
What did this man offer to the business? Period.
Well,
I wouldn't be
somebody
surprised.
explain that to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if like somebody like Vince, who I think most people can understand is probably not the most reputable person anymore.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be shocked if somebody like Vince just had him on the payroll because he's like, you know, we need a guy like him. We need a guy like Bob because you never know when you got to keep guys in line. Like he might have honestly just been a guy.
Maybe that's the old school belief, right? So yeah. So
you gotta have like a watchdog in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what Undertaker was for.
Yeah, but Taker strikes me as like, because he was such a top guy and he was, you know, Taker, that like
you could have multiple watchdogs too.
Like Taker was a guy that apparently Taker like sat in like wrestler's court and just was like, all right, what happened? Like he was more of like the judge and jury. Yeah. And Bob was maybe one of the executioners.
So that's a nice excuse, but at the same time, you have two other companies that are fully functional right now in ECW and WCW. And competition is high. You know, you want to hang on to your job. Otherwise, it could be taken by somebody way more talented. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Let's throw out Bob Holly.
Yeah.
That's going to win us this segment.
Yeah. No.
Meanwhile, on the other channel, you've got the NWO doing who knows what, or a cruiserweight match. It's like, wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And we should also mention at this point where this show happens is WWF is up on WCW in the ratings. It has been up for quite some time. This is, you know, for a few months now they've been ahead. So
yeah, the 83 weeks is over.
It is over,
long over.
Yeah, because the Finger Poke of Doom was like early January, and we're like, you know, end of May here at this point. So yes, so there we go. But
they squandered everything. So hey, you know what? We'll give him Bob Holly. You know, give him a chance to catch up a little bit.
Hardcore championship match, everybody. Al Snow, the champion, takes on a Hardcore Holly. The one thing I found really weird and just very strange was Al has a black armband on his arm for his imaginary friend, and it's just weird knowing what we know now. And it's like,
that's the one thing. He has a horse head.
It's a dead deer. It's not a horse head.
I don't care. How is that not the weird part? The armband is the weird part.
To me, that was creepy. Yeah, just the armband. I was like, ugh,
that's the.
What does everybody want?
A deer head.
Deer head. Yeah.
His invisible friend.
It's a badly taxidermied deer head too. It's falling apart at the nose and
exactly as if he's been feeding it or something, or trying to like give it celery. He's been playing with the deer head. That physical representation isn't as scary as an invisible man with an armband.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like saying if he had one of those invisible dog leashes, that was scary.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, you got it there, but
I need you to think more. Make good choices.
I mean, I saw the black armband, and then I've just like to get to the next night. Everybody had a black armband on, and it was like, oh, okay, so you know, which wasn't, you know,
yeah, but great. The deer head's just fine.
Yeah, so it's typical Attitude Era hardcore fare. What's the runtime on this? The runtime on this one is 12 minutes and 53 seconds. They brawl up to the concourse. They brawl down to the ring, back and forth and whatever. And then Bob Holly has a finisher at the time called the Holocaust, which is a Falcon Arrow. Would not fly in 2025.
That's
no
so
moss.
awful.
No
That is
moss.
so awful.
No. The Holy
No moss, por favor.
Mhm.
Oh, fuck. That's why. What do you think? Hey, you know what? This.
Which is so funny because he hits that move, and then shortly after, Al Snow hits his move, which is just called the snowplow.
Snowplow, yeah.
The snowplow, yeah.
Which is nice and childish and funny. But you back up a minute earlier, and it was the Holocaust. I'm like,
The Holocaust.
oh my Lord.
I don't think the Holocaust finish was long for this world. I don't remember him doing that. Or if he did do it, it was a Falcon Arrow,
That'd be like me having a submission move called like the Irish potato famine. Like just doesn't make any
Wow.
sense.
It's just unreal all over the place here. So, I mean, it's an Attitude Era hardcore match, nothing to write home about. It is what it is. It's opening hour trash for WWF at the time. These matches typically were in the first hour shows anyway. So,
for as much as I shit on Bob Holly, I do have to say something nice about Al Snow.
Yeah. He actually got a credible match out of this, for one.
Well, no, it's a hardcore match, so fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. But
he had come such a long way to be that character. Because he was in WCW as a good technician and no character. He goes back to the WWF as like part of the New Rockers with Marty Jannetty.
Yes. He was Leif Cassidy.
And then like he's bouncing around these two companies. Like everyone knows he's a good worker, but has no idea what the hell to do with him.
He was also Avatar at the same time as well.
Absolutely.
Ninja pants and a ninja mask.
Yeah.
Like Leaf.
Leaf, like Leif.
Okay, so this is where I get my Norse history nose out of joint. It's not Leaf. When it's Leif, it's Leif.
Leif, okay.
Leif Cassidy. So
Leif
if they were
Cassidy.
saying Leaf on TV, then it was typical Americans not pronouncing things right.
That is correct.
Which it is.
Well, they had to do something because he didn't have a character. So let's give him a confusing name, and let's give him a mask, and let's make him Japanese, and let's put him on Marty Jannetty, and let's send him to WCW, and let's bring him back. Like they had no idea what to do with this man until he goes to ECW, and they get this character of Al Snow going with the head. Yeah. And at the time, it was Sandstorm, I think, was his entrance song.
No, it was Breathe by the Prodigy.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the seminal tracks of Big Shiny Tunes too. But anyway,
right. But I mean, and he finally makes it back to the WWF with this character, and he's so over with it. The crowd loves him. And by the way, this crowd was hot from the beginning. Like they were actually like on their feet for that tag team match, and they were still on their feet for El Snow. They kind of sat down as this match progressed, but still.
Yes. No, they were with it for the start. And from what I saw of the pre-show too, the crowd was with it in the pre-show, and all credit to the crowd for sitting through the lousiness of that Sunday Night Heat pre-show. That was
Are we allowed to talk about that yet with the Matt Hardy thing or the Hardys?
We're going to get to that when we get into the accident stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's an urban legend that's been debunked, and we'll talk about that. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we get to that,
let's move on now.
Yeah. All right. So we go to a pre-tape in the back where we go back to where the Stooges, Briscoe and Patterson, are talking to Michael Cole. Jerry says an ambulance is on its way to the building, and Patterson says Vince's ankle might be broken. So again, it's just reiterating that Vince is going to be compromised going into this main event for whatever angle that they're looking at that point. So yeah. And just I laughed at Michael Cole's, it's broken like that. Like that's the most expression I've ever seen Cole have ever.
No.
Backstage
doing
that role. It's broken.
The most I've ever heard or seen from him was when Finn Balor was wrestling, I want to say Brock.
Okay.
And all of a sudden his demonness kicked in.
Oh, was that when he was doing the dead fish thing?
The dead fish. Yeah. And he gets back to life with the theme song hitting its peak.
Do. and it comes back up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets back to his feet, and the camera zooms in, and you hear Michael Cole yell, "Holy Christ!" It was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to the bad part.
Yeah, this is the bad part. So as I was watching this, I switched this to the pay-per-view off air because if you're watching on Netflix or Peacock, you skip this entire bit and you go right to when they're walking out for the mixed tag.
No,
which is
no.
Mm.
No, if you're watching on Netflix, it goes to the back promo with Jeff Jarrett and Deborah.
Oh, it goes to the interview. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it goes to the interview and then it comes to the match.
Okay. So I was assuming that the Peacock version was the same as the Netflix version because I watched the Peacock version. On the Peacock version, you skip right to the mixed tag because the Peacock is lifted right from the WWE Network edit of the event, not dub.
Okay, weird, because on the Netflix version, it does show the little back part with Jeff Jarrett and Deborah right before they come out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do this twice in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Where they have an interview that leads right to the match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the promo where Jeff Jarrett looks to the camera and says, "Owen Hart, I'm praying for you, buddy."
Yes. Okay, so you guys see that.
Okay. I think before he did that promo live, they wheeled Owen Hart like right
by it.
Yes.
They were wheeling him right by the promo set as the promo was starting. Like they were counting down to him and then they wheeled him right by. So.
You can tell.
That's why Deborah starts the promo. That's why Deborah's starting the promo off rather than Jeff starting the promo off with that. So,
and now that we get to this part, you got to see these guys are as professional as can be. That they can kind of choke down what they've just had to digest within a matter of a second, and then go into their character immediately.
Yep. Yep.
And the thing is, it's like off camera, there's going to be a whole lot of just pain that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But when that red light hits and the camera's on them, they're right into the character.
Yeah. All hell is breaking loose off camera, obviously, during this and that stuff. And, do we want to go blow by blow with what happens here, or do we just kind of want to just sum up with every?
Honestly, yes, because
okay,
like you said, this is like a book club but for wrestling, and this is one of those shows that is one of the most infamous shows in all of wrestling.
Yeah. Sure,
one that I've never seen in my lifetime until this time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and
same here.
This is wrestling history for better for worse.
It is.
This is something that really happened that, in my opinion, shouldn't have. But go ahead.
Okay, so we go right into a still graphic hyping the Blue Blazer versus the Godfather for the WWF Intercontinental Championship match, and the JR is doing his hype, so it goes into off of this still graphic goes into a video package, and that video package is basically hyping the Blue Blazer and the whole. Is the Blue Blazer Owen Hart? Is it not? Storyline that Owen has been involved in, I want to say since November of '98. Basically, it's been kind of a slow burn. It's kind of intensified over the last few weeks or so. We do this. The Blazer, this iteration of the Blazer is supposed to be a jab at Hulk Hogan because this one is the tagline is "Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, blah blah blah." So
not exactly. So
okay, yeah,
it's not just a jab at Hulk Hogan. What it is that Owen Hart's character as the Blue Blazer is supposed to be the anti, what do you call this? Attitude Era wrestler.
Yeah. He's
supposed to be about good values and home entertainment and family friendly in an era where we've gone off the deep end.
That's right.
Into hardcore matches and puppies and all this kind of stuff.
He's basically preaching. Today's modern equivalent would be preaching G and PG content to a TV 14 TV MA audience.
In a weird way, this is kind of it's a Grande Americano.
It is. Yeah.
Grande Americano is totally the Blue Blazer updated.
Yes.
For today's era. And it's funny enough is that I actually find that this whole character of the Blue Blazer with Owen Hart would have worked so well in ECW.
Yes.
As a heel. who comes out to be this good guy and to be something of like of this relic of the past.
Yeah.
But he's Owen Hart, so he still puts out amazing matches.
Yeah.
Like
so they give him a belt or something, like the TV title or something like that.
Oh yeah, and the ECW crowd would have ate it up and hated him, but also loved him because he's Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Like this would have been so good in ECW if they put him there to do that. But instead it was WWF, and this just was not, it wasn't presented well at all.
Yeah. So, well, the accident happened sometime during this video package because they cut back from the video package back to this still graphic again, which is just a matchup still graphic telling people what's next.
Well, I remember, because is it before they show the promo? You hear JR say like, "Oh, we got problems out here."
Yes,
he says that,
and we've got big problems out here. As they cut to the backstage promo of Owen Hart talking to Kevin Kelly.
This was
tonight again. Yeah,
that was eerie to watch.
It was,
because he cut that promo maybe like a couple hours before it's taped.
Yes.
And like you're like, as they're showing that and they're talking about the Blue Blazer and this whole thing, it's like he's lying in the ring getting worked on.
Yes.
And from what I understand of the accident report, like when he hit chest first on the rope,
yes,
like that severed his aorta. So like even if they had like a trauma surgery team in the arena on standby, he probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah,
because it's just that severe of an injury.
Yeah.
And it's just, I remember kind of like, I heard that comment from JR and it cuts to the promo, and I remember it showing him, and I kind of went, and I just kind of like sat back like, oh God, that's not just knowing. It's just that dramatic irony. Like when you would have been watching this for the first time, you're like, what?
Exactly.
It's actually, it is literally more disturbing watching it now than had you have watched it live, because watching it live, you don't know really what's going on.
No, you're clued in and that stuff, because you cut out of that and you come back in the interview into a wide shot of the arena. The camera is fixated on the lower bowl of the grandstands, and it just keeps switching, shots of the crowd and that stuff, and people, get up, show their signs because they see the cameras.
Yeah, but actually, what's going on is JR is explaining what's happening.
Yeah, JR explains that the Blue Blazer was to have made a superhero type entrance from the rafters, and something has gone terribly wrong here.
Yeah, and he's saying this is not a gimmick. This is not part of the show. We are entertainment, but this is not part of the entertainment tonight. We've had a serious problem go on, and he's explaining all this while they're doing the crowd shots.
Yeah.
So that goes blank on the Netflix and the Peacock version, but in the real version, JR is doing his best to try to describe what's actually happening without really saying what's happening.
Yeah, one thing I've always wondered, guys, was during this time what the crowd sounded like. Like was the crowd just kind of just stunned in silence? Were they, still chanting? Were they kind of murmuring? And that's it reminds me of a football or a hockey game when a player gets severely injured.
Yes.
And you can hear murmuring, ambient noise and that stuff, but otherwise nothing else. Yeah.
And I think that's what happened, because they see that something's going on, but they have no idea what happened, because it's not part of the show. The cameras weren't on. The lights weren't on. Something has just happened, and there's people rushing to the ring as if there's an accident, but people just kind of, looking over to see if they can see anything. What's happening and that stuff and everything. It would be that nervous, quiet kind of murmur going out through the arena.
Oh, the lights weren't on. They thought the house lights were on, but it was dark, so they didn't see him fall.
Exactly.
They didn't see it. They bring the house lights up. If you're in the building, you see Owen in the ring already. You have heard the impact and just sort of like, whoa, what was that?
What just made a loud sound in the ring? Like who just slammed somebody?
Exactly. And then you look and you see Owen laid out in the ring
already, and then a whole bunch of people rushing to him immediately. So you may not even know if it's him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like for a bunch of people, it could have been like, oh, someone tried to like jump the guard rail and get inside the arena. They have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. In my research for this show, I saw, and I didn't grab them just because I don't know how YouTube would take a look at it, but there are photos from somebody who was close to ringside, and he shot some photos from the crowd. He was in the crowd on the floor into the ring of post-fall, what the situation was like and that stuff, and you see, Owen obviously laid out, and then the trainers and that stuff working on him, and then Owen on the gurney getting hauled out of the building, right? Obviously afterwards. So, but it's just a dreadful thing. JR says that we are going to keep our cameras on the crowd at this time, and then we are going to move on. And then that's obviously Kevin Kelly, or not Kevin Kelly, but that's obviously who was the producer guy at the time? Name pops in my head. The guy in the truck. Well, anyway, it's the
Kevin
truck.
Dunn?
Kevin Dunn. That's it. Yeah, that's Kevin Dunn screaming in his ear that no, we're moving to the next element, and so they move right on to the next element, which is a video package for the mixed tag. So
may I say right now, fuck you, Kevin Dunn, for doing that.
Yeah, rightfully so too.
Fuck you. I hope you burn in hell.
So we're all three of us in unanimous agreement that the show should have been stopped right dead.
Yep.
There.
That would have been the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, as an older brother, like, if Brett was in the building, like, I know if that was my younger brother, and like, oh yeah, I would be like, I don't care if I'm in the main event.
Yeah.
I'm not in this. I'm done.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that Owen, this was really the second year of Owen not really having any of working in the same company as any of his family, because there's no older brother Brett in WWF at this time. There's no British Bulldog in WWF at this time. There's no Jim the Anvil Neidhart in WWF at this time. So there's
Brian Pillman has passed away.
Brian Pillman's gone. Yeah, absolutely. So there's none of the core group is in
the Hart Foundation's gone.
Yeah.
He's all that's left of it.
He's all that's left of it, right?
I did bristle a little bit. I saw a comment because I was going through, like, because I wanted to kind of gauge some opinions of it, and there was somebody that said they're like, wow, I don't know, I think they're like the Harts, like Brett would have been there. I think he was being a little unreasonable because they said the day that Brian Pillman died, he was supposed to be on the pay-per-view, and the Hart Foundation still went out there and had their match, but he died. I think it was a drug overdose or something, or suicide. I can't remember how.
No, it was a heart attack that was brought on by the medication that he was taking at the time for his ankle, right? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So but he passes away, and then the Hearts still go out there and have their match, and they're like, so they had a match when he died. And I'm like, yeah, but Brian Pillman didn't die in the middle of a ring.
Right.
Yeah. Live in a crowd.
In the middle of a show.
It's not the same thing.
It's not.
No.
Not at all.
No. This is akin to I guess for the younger audience too, that would have no knowledge of it, would be akin to that October 1st concert mass shooting that happened in Las Vegas back in 2017.
The whole Vegas Strong thing.
Yeah, the Vegas Strong thing. Yeah. So, and obviously they didn't, hey, there's people dead in the crowd, let's continue the country music show. Haha. No, they obviously got everybody out of there for everybody's safety, obviously. And then, but that event didn't continue.
That's what I'm saying. It's like in any other form of entertainment, the show's over, folks. Here's we are refunding you for your tickets. If you bought it on pay-per-view, you were being refunded on your bill.
Yep.
This show is over. We are sorry. We will be back to explain what happened. Whatever.
The rest of the matches on this card will take place on Monday Night Raw or on a television special at a later time.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Show's over.
It's it's on the organizers, and like even touching back to like the Woodstock '99 thing, and even you could talk about like the Astroworld thing with Travis Scott. The organizers did not do their due diligence to make sure that event was safe.
Yes,
and with the not vetting the rigging company that hooked up Owen Hart, like they used a bad clasp that was to give away as soon as his body weight hit. So it's like that's negligence.
Yeah.
You hired them.
Yeah.
These guys were like, you were the ones that brought them in. So they're going to get sued, but like what you have other, like for whatever reason, they didn't use their regular guys or something.
Yeah. So what had happened there with that is that Owen was also doing the rappels from the ceiling to take a shot at Sting, because Sting was doing that in WCW at the time. Sting's people were at a WWF event earlier in the year and said, hey, what can we do for you? Blah, 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 blah. And that's when they brought up Owen and the Blue Blazer. And that's when they did it. Actually, it was the year before at Survivor Series. They brought him down. They did the Pinata thing with Steve Blackman in the first round of the tournament there. But they had there was like one or two guys that were like absolute experts at this rigging. And then those two guys obviously had assistants and that stuff. Well, they were double booked for the night of Over the Edge, so they couldn't get either of the experts to do it. But one of the assistants saw the opportunity to make some cash and whatever, and saw that he's, oh yeah, I've done this a million times, I could do it myself, whatever, and said, sure, I'll do it. And they were the person that went there was told by one of the experts, hey, this is the type of stuff you use. If you're going to do this, do it this way. Otherwise, serious things could happen and that stuff. And obviously, just because this was his first time doing it, stuff was overlooked. And it happened, right? Like the carabiner that they use and that stuff. They looked at it, and the carabiner, I think, is like the type of carabiner that you'd see sold at like the souvenir stand at like a tourist shop or something. Like you see with the keychains with the carabiner on it. That's the type of like it's not a load-bearing carabiner at all. It's
no,
like
it's maybe the size of your ear.
Yeah, it's like the only thing you use it for is basically like, you know, to suspend like, I know, an extra sack or something off your belt. That's it. That's all it's rated for. Yeah. You know, if you're hiking. So like that's the whole thing shouldn't have happened, and it's such a dark cloud.
And to use another analogy for what you were saying, it's like if this is any other form of entertainment, like in Las Vegas, Siegfried and Roy had a show and the tiger freaked out and it started to attack them. Guess what? The show's over. There's no trapeze after that. There's no juggling clown. There's no bear. It's over. The show is done.
We're just past the anniversary of it as we record this, but in October of 2011, Dan Weldon, who was a very popular IndyCar driver, was killed in Las Vegas racing in a 500-mile IndyCar race, and they stopped the race right there. They stopped it right after the accident. They made the announcement, and that was it. That was the end of the race. They stopped it dead. The race went as a non-result, so nobody won anything or whatever, and everybody packed up and went home. That's what you do. That's
what you're supposed to do.
That's what you do.
So fuck you, Kevin Dunn, for saying let's throw to the next match.
Yeah. I remember even seeing Jeff Jarrett walk out on the ramp. It was like you could tell he was not okay. You see in his eyes, like he's just like, what the hell? What am I doing?
Yep.
He had this, I don't know. He maybe like he did get in there. He had the match. He did what he had to do. Like you were saying, he had a lot of professionalism and all that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely just this look of disbelief.
Yeah. We go through the back now, and Kevin Kelly standing in the back with Jeff Jarrett and Deborah. Both Jeff and Deborah are as shook as everyone is. They just watched, friend, coworker, tag partner, whatever, get wheeled out of the building after falling almost 100 feet. So yes, that's, that goes without saying. Jeff Jarrett's famous, or not famous, but the infamous quote, Owen Hart, I'm praying for you, buddy. And Deborah, I am too. Owen, we love you. And then the promo continues. But yeah, that's the whole reason why Deborah starts that promo off, is because, Jeff is supposed to start the promo off, but, obviously with what he sees out of the corner of his eye, that's enough to knock anybody off of their game. And Deborah, and, kudos to her, for keeping enough composure there without, breaking down and that stuff. And
she actually did a lot of things that surprised me. As a performer that night.
She's underrated on this, in this whole situation. It's like, just a strong woman.
Absolutely. I mean, having to see a very close friend get wheeled past you, presumably dead, at that time, having to take the promo over just for that second, go into the ring with a completely unexperienced person while you yourself are not a trained wrestler.
Yeah.
In 6-inch heels.
Yes.
She did not wear wrestling boots or flats.
And Daisy Duke, like yoga shorts and a freaking crop top with like the bottom of your snavitzes hanging out.
And she managed to pull off this whole thing. And I'm just like, you know what? How the hell did Deborah do all that?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, okay. You had asked about the urban legends. This is where I had it pegged that we can talk about the urban legends. So, few misconceptions about the accident. So, first of all, the blood on the apron. You had made mention of it.
Yes.
The blood on the apron is not, this is in capital letters, not from the Owen Hart accident. That is from the Hardys Brood encounter in the pre-show on Sunday Night Heat prior to the show, where they bloodbathed Michael Hayes, because Michael Hayes was serving as manager of the Hardys at that time. And that was the Brood Hardys feud, basically, that led to the new Brood. So
exactly. So that blood stain that's on the apron there is actually there from the very first match before even Owen has to go to the top of the arena.
Oh yeah, that's there from the Sunday Night Heat.
And that being said, when I had picked this and I watched the Netflix version, I saw that stain and I thought that was from Owen Hart, and I was like, maybe we can't do this. I had second thoughts, and then when I read up on it and I saw what they showed from Sunday Night Heat, I'm like, okay, that's from the bloodbath angle that they did before the show even started. That's right. Not Owen Hart, because I'm like, that would have been absolutely devastating and wrong in everything and every way you can imagine. If you had to wrestle and Owen Hart's body imprint was on your left, and you had to stand there on tag team matches and take bumps off the apron all night long with that. It's a very eerie. There's a lot of really eerie coincidences that happen through this whole thing. I mean, you were talking about how everyone in the crowd, how confused they may have been with this whole thing going down.
Right. It was akin to like an athlete having a catastrophic injury on like a sports field or something like that during a game.
Right. But also you add on to that, they're doing this angle where Vince McMahon is being put into an ambulance and taken away.
That was going to be my second thing here too, is anything you see with Vince in an ambulance was pre-taped before the show. So there was not an ambulance being saved in the building for the show that they couldn't rush out to Owen, etc. and whatever. And because I've seen that discourse through the years on comments and YouTube and stuff like that, where people are like, well, they had an ambulance tied up for the stupid angle they were doing with Vince and Shane and blah, 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 blah. It's like that was done in the afternoon prior to.
Yeah, that's pre-taped stuff. That's not live.
Yeah. So that was pre-taped stuff
But you imagine for anybody who's watching the show, whether on pay-per-view or live in the arena, you know what's quite to believe, because you have, it looks like Vince McMahon live in an ambulance being taken out on the stretcher. Meanwhile, you don't know what's happening with Owen. Yeah,
exactly. Referee Jimmy Corderas, of course, was in the ring. He was cleaning up after the hardcore title match.
He's cleaning up all the debris from their weapons of the previous match.
Yeah, exactly. And he got shocked from the incident because he was in the ring, and Owen, by all accounts, apparently just barely missed him on his way down, which just could have been a lot more.
By Jimmy Corderas' note, he was holding on to the top rope, and it snapped away from his hand.
Yeah.
And basically that was the impact of what was happened just to his left, I think it was.
Yeah. So they pulled him for the rest of the night because he was suffering from traumatic shock, basically from the event, obviously. So you don't see Jimmy Corderas at all the rest of the night. So he's done. He doesn't even remember going to St. Louis the next day from his accounts of the incident.
Oh, for Raw.
For Raw. No, he remembers everything from arriving in the building at Kansas City that night for the show. Is like the last thing he remembers is just pulling up to the building, getting his assignments for the night and that stuff. And then the next thing he remembers is being dropped off at the hotel in St. Louis after the Monday Night Raw tribute. After the Monday Night Raw tribute on that Monday.
There's also one more thing I wanted to jump to. It's interesting what happens in your mind as compares to what happens with your physical actions, because Val Venus comes out next.
Yes.
As the next match. Now, in an interview, he says he looks up, like everybody that whole night when they did their entrance was trying not to look up.
Yeah.
Because if they look up, they see how far Owen would have had to have fallen to the ring.
Yeah.
So he said he did glance up and then he looked back down.
You see that in his entrance.
No, you don't.
You don't? Okay.
You don't. Now, this is what I'm talking about. In your mind, things happen differently than what's happening sometimes with your actions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In his mind, he is completely freaking out. He has looked up and he is calculating all these things about Owen. All these things in his mind, like he's having some PTSD, right? Like it's occurring right there in his head.
Yeah.
Outwardly, he's on autopilot as Val Venus. He's doing his character. He's doing the thumb lick. He's doing the towel thing.
Yeah.
He hits his sleazy promo that he always does. Like he's just Val Venus.
Yeah.
But in his brain, all these awful things are happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about. Like them being a professional, like you're really dividing out the act of what you have to do for an audience and what you're doing for entertainment and what's really going on deep inside. Yeah. And that shit will crush you.
Yeah. There's one more urban legend that I want to debunk before we move on to that to the rest of the card is the ring. So the ring itself wasn't completely damaged. Only a quarter of it was. I've seen reports online that they were sending wrestlers out in a broken ring after this and blah, 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 blah. It wasn't completely damaged. Just the corner, obviously, where Owen fell, was compromised. So they still had free corners to do. And you'll see during the night and that stuff, guys go over to do spots to test that corner out. But you don't see a lot of action in that corner. So they'll work the other free corners, but they don't work that corner, obviously, because of...
Okay, but which corner was it? Like, if you're looking at it on TV, which corner?
I think, but from the camera side, it's the near right.
The right that's closest to the screen?
The right that has the fake blood from the
Okay, that's funny you say that, because they do have a basically a Survivor Series tag team match later, and all those guys are in that corner.
And all those guys are standing in the corner. Yeah, so
and they're heavy guys. Right, it's Mankind, Test, Big Show.
Yeah. So that's, again, debunking that myth that the ring was completely broken. They're sending people out to wrestle in a broken ring on top of it. No, the ring wasn't completely broken. It wasn't compromised at all, to the point like that. Just the corner itself they found had obvious damage from the fall and that stuff, but nothing that would warrant a completely broken ring, right? So yeah, just a dark deal. But so tough to go back to the show after all that, but they did, and so we talked.
They did, and we shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the summary of it all.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to a show that they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the show is forgettable.
It is. It totally is, because we'll crash through the rest of this here. You have the mixed tag team match that was up next. It was Jeff Jarrett and Deborah versus Nicole Bass and Val Venus. The runtime for that one ended up being 6 minutes and 7 seconds, with Nicole Bass and Val Venus defeating Deborah and Jeff Jarrett. Just interrupt me if you guys see anything that you want to talk about here further and that stuff. We have Road Dogg versus Badass Billy Gunn.
That was awful.
That was I expected more from that, but then obviously it coming after what had happened, I'm giving that a pass. I'm like, okay, basically my ranking out of 10 for this pay-per-view, guys, stops after the hardcore match, because that's all I can rank it on, basically, because everybody else I figure is like they're checked out and they're just going through house show mode to protect themselves for the rest of the night, basically, so that that they just do the stuff,
yes and no
spots and get out, right?
Well, you have The Rock versus Triple H. You have Stone Cold versus The Undertaker,
right?
And they were both matches that were like, this almost looked like some of our early opener matches that we watch on some of these pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all main events with 4 Hall of Famers, 4 legends of the business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the best Triple H Rock match. That's still to come. And this is definitely not the best Undertaker Steve Austin match, because the one at SummerSlam 98 is better than this one. And the one at SummerSlam 98 is not the best Stone Cold Undertaker match. So,
that one wasn't very good.
No.
And if I'm mistaken, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Stone Cold has never talked about this night. Like, he doesn't talk about the incident.
Not really. No, I mean, they did a little home video documentary when they released the book because Stone Cold said so.
Yeah.
Which was like one of those biography things that they did after Foley had success with his biography and that stuff. And he talked about it just briefly. And I think, if I remember correctly, he's one that felt that if he was running the show, he would have stopped the show himself.
Yeah.
With it, but that's all he said about it. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't have continued. So
I imagine it would be very difficult for Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Owen Hart wasn't in his good books.
Yeah, they had not made up from the SummerSlam 97 deal yet.
Yeah, so basically when Stone Cold got jacked on his neck because Owen Hart gave him a pile driver instead of a tombstone and landed him right on his head and paralyzed him almost, Owen Hart never made things right with Steve,
Mhm.
and Steve never really forgot that.
Yeah.
So he's carrying this little thing with him at all times, kind of against Owen,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden this happens.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can only imagine really just how difficult this would have been for Steve.
Yeah, it's a
He'd be like, I never made peace with this person about this.
yeah, it's quite the trickle down effect. It's a butterfly effect and everything, and all for just a weird stunt in your first hour of your show. Like it makes like
Which
zero
honestly,
sense.
what would it have done to see the Blue Blazer make that entrance?
Nothing.
Not one person would have bought an extra ticket. Nobody extra would have watched Monday Night Raw. No one's going back to rent this one in Blockbuster.
And it's how the Intercontinental title was booked at that time too. It's just another title. Like literally, if it's not the WWE Championship, WWF Championship at this time, it means nothing on these Attitude Era cards. Like the Intercontinental title, the Tag Team title, the European title, the Hardcore title, they're all the same. They're all, either mid-card or lower mid-card titles. That's it.
Well, the whole point of it was to take a dig at WCW.
Yep, that's it. That's a cheap laugh. We're going to send our guy down from the ceiling, and when he gets close to the ring, we're going to do a situation where he has an issue trying to detach, and then he detaches and he falls on his face like a foot or two off the apron of the ring. That's it.
Again, how is this a dig at WCW? You basically made your guy look like a jabroni doing the same stunt as the guy who makes it look cool. How is that a dig?
I think it's a dig in the mind of Vince McMahon. I wouldn't necessarily think it's a dig myself, but like Vince McMahon was the kind of guy that thought like, "Ha, that's what we think of that." It doesn't make sense to me either. But like, I think he's just, it's like a bully mentality.
To tell you the truth, I hold. This is one of the things where I hold Vince maybe 25% responsible for. I think the majority of the blame goes on creative and writers for okaying this. So I've always been the type that holds like Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara 50 to 75% responsible for this.
Oh yeah, I hope they burn in hell too, and fuck them.
Yeah, because that's to them, that the burden is on them because they were the initial ones that came up with the idea and pitched it to Vince.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I should give a little Tupac right here. Like,
do it.
Kevin Dunn, fuck you. Ed Ferrara, fuck you too.
Yeah.
Vince Russo, fuck you too. Vince McMahon, fuck you too.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yep. Absolutely. So, the rest of the card shapes up as this. We have the Union, which was in the 8-man tag team elimination match, the short-lived Union of Big Show, Ken Shamrock, Mankind, and Test. They defeated the Corporate Ministry, the Big Boss Man, Bradshaw, Farouk, and Viscera in 1459. The only thing really notable about this was, and I thought was somewhat humorous, was Big Show firing up like he was a fiery baby face in his thing. Like he was 1980s Ricky Morton or something like that from like the Rock and Roll Express. He comes over top, he jumps over top of the ropes, and he just starts this, doing all these little guy baby face spots from like the 1980s, which is just hilarious.
That was kind of crazy that he fired up like a baby face. You're right. But also what threw me off was that Test was about as skinny as Edge.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought he was Edge until I kind of paid attention. I'm like, oh no, that's Test.
He had not cycled through yet, so
right.
He would still he's still just this lanky big dude that was like well built at this point.
Hadn't quite hit the juice yet.
No, this
exactly.
is pre-juice test. Yes, so that's it. It is after this match that if I fast forward for my notes here, is on the live version, you get the 2-shot at the booth of JR and King, and they've announced Owen Hart's passing.
Yeah.
There's a momentary moment, and then it fades to like a quick black, and it goes right back onto the video package for Triple H and The Rock.
Yeah.
I pick up the next match. So,
and The Rock has a cast, and they try to take off the cast,
and
then it doesn't happen, and Mankind helps him, and there's a pipe, and
yeah,
it was a weird way to enter the match.
Yeah,
Triple H like attacks him backstage, and he's like, better go out to the ring now.
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
just I'm gonna walk out here and do my entrance with China, and then The Rock will come out and attack me.
Yeah, the runtime for that one was 11 minutes and 41 seconds, and yeah, it's very forgettable. I mean, when I looked at this, I was like, do we have a forgotten Triple H versus Rock match because of what happened here? And then I look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it's forgettable because it's meaningless.
Because
It
there's
does
nothing to write home about.
There's nothing to write home about. That's why it's not memorable at all. So, which brings me to the main event: The Undertaker defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin in 22:58 for the WWF title. It's basically the corporate ministry getting the title back. Shane screwing over Austin with the quick count for the finish again, and in like one of the sloppiest roll-ups. But again, both these guys, everybody's heads aren't in it at this point because obviously of what happened. So everybody's just going through motions.
You know, it's funny you say that. I don't know what they're not phoning it in though. Like, I don't know how to explain this.
It's not quite.
They make it look like they're not phoning it in, but they are.
It's not quite house show pacing, but it's like, okay, we got to send these folks home. We got to send the folks home happy. But the problem is the end result of the pay-per-view doesn't send anybody home happy. It's the corporate ministry walking out with the belt, So it's like, oh, okay. Like
and the only people are eerie things of them crashing into stained glass windows and stuff.
Yeah, all sorts of chuffa, as Bruce Willis would say. It's all chuffa. But
chuffa.
It's like
I might need some lore on chuffa.
Yeah. Chuffa, which means it's nothing. It's fluff. It's mushy. It's chuffa.
All right.
Chuffa. Yeah.
I could get some chuffa.
It's chuffa.
Chuffa.
Yeah, and Craig, you're right. It is a Jersey thing. But...
There you go.
So
there you go.
That's some kind of Jersey slang.
Chuffa.
It's like my brother's mother-in-law, because she's originally from New Jersey and she still has that like coffee. And like when she
New
was
Englander accent, I love it. Yeah.
No, not
New York.
Jersey.
Jersey. It's New York.
No, not Boston. Don't say that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. But like, there's the thing when they talk about like pizza. It's like, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go get some pizza. It's I'm gonna grab a slice.
Oh,
you're gonna grab a slice. You gotta have a good flop on that slice.
You can't have flop.
You gotta have flop on that.
There's no flop on that slice.
Gotta flop on that slice.
Unless you're getting a grandma and a Sicilian. There's no flop on the slice.
Floppy slice?
There's a lot of people in the Big Apple that will disagree with that, Ty.
That's not true. That's not true. You can't have a floppy slice.
You gotta have a good flop. A good flop. Not bad flop.
No flop.
Good flop.
No flop on the slice.
When you fold,
you fold half, and you get that fold. It's got to stay rigid.
Gotta have that little flop.
No. Flop is not a good thing in New York.
So here's the fold.
I'm picturing Christopher Walken trying to debate this with somebody. You gotta have the flop.
The flop on the slice.
The slice.
Pizza, have it there. Mushrooms, green peppers. I know.
You don't have to
see. You've already got it wrong. You either have cheese or nothing.
Cheese. I mean,
it's a tomato pie.
No,
don't ruin it with your toppings.
Intolerant.
You Canadians with your toppings, Hawaiian. It's not even your state.
At that point, it's a Neapolitan. It's not even a real pizza at that point.
I'm not a pineapple on pizza guy, though. I'll put my foot down there.
Yeah. So there we go.
Nobody should be.
Well. Yeah, I used to be heavy on the pineapple, but now my dietary changes and stuff. I can't do the pineapple anymore. So that's it for that.
Pineapple's unhealthy?
It's loaded with sugar.
Oh,
yeah. So
fruit sugar, yeah.
It's basically as bad as bananas. So
bananas are unhealthy too.
Yeah, those are sugar berries at that point.
Sugar berries.
Well, bananas too. Here's a little banana lore. All bananas in the world today are genetically related because they were made in the UK. The current banana, even though it's grown in tropical places, was genetically designed in the UK because they had a huge issue with banana crops dying. So they made a genetically different banana so it wouldn't be killed by that one crop disease. And so today, every banana that they grow in tropical places in the world is based off of the same design of the one from the UK. It's cloned.
Wow.
But UK doesn't make bananas.
They did. Bananas are British. The current strain of bananas are British.
Where did they grow them? They don't have the climate to grow banana.
Greenhouse. They designed them in a greenhouse, and then they put the seeds and the plants into the tropical climates, and they grew them in places in the world that can grow bananas. But the species of banana was originated in Britain.
Check out the big brain on Craig. It's like, Craig Fraser. He can divide by 0.
Ah, jeez.
So there we go.
There you go.
Anyway, another Craig fact for you. But so I gave this a rating out of 10.
I did too.
It's my lowest rating I think I've ever given any piece of media I've ever reviewed on anything I've ever done. I'm giving it a 0.5 out of 10 because there was nothing in that first 45 minutes to really write home about. We have an X-Pac tag team match, and then we have a hardcore match that paled in comparison to a better hardcore match that the two had earlier in the year. So, like, the second match was terrible compared to the first one. Then the incident happens, and then the rest of the card is just a blur, and it's just like, okay, well, you know what? These guys are just going for the motion, so it's not fair to put a rating on the rest of that. So my ranking is just basically on the first 2 matches that wouldn't have had affected in that stuff, and so it's a 0.5 out of me. There's nothing really there to write home about. It's rather forgettable up until it isn't, unfortunately. So that's what I got. Ty, you go ahead.
I was waiting on Craig. That's all.
Oh, Craig. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Craig. Yeah, that's fine.
I give it a 3 because only because for the guys that had to go out there, and they still had, I mean, a lot of them, most of them, I think pretty much all of them were like, we should be doing this. We should be going out there. Owens died. It's this tragic accident, but those guys still went out there in the face of such a tragedy and wrestled. And in some respect, like, I mean, we can't obviously ask Owen or anything, but knowing the kind of professional that Owen was, there might have been like, some guys might have thought, like Owen, the fact that we went out there for him, he might have been like, hey, good stuff. Like maybe there's something like for the guys that knew him, I didn't know Owen Hart. It's a tragic accident, but like maybe guys that like if somebody like Jeff Jarrett, who was very good friends with Owen Hart, if he was sitting here, he'd be like, you know what? He would have wanted me out there. I was destroyed. I'm freaking out. My friend, I just saw him. He's blue. He's dead.
Yeah.
Being wheeled by me. I'm beside myself.
Yeah.
But like he would have wanted me out there. So I gave it a 3 just because of these guys' effort in such a tragic circumstance.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, The Rock even going out there and doing a match with Triple H as well. Rock was close with Owen, and the fact that he went out there and did that whole the whole match doesn't make any sense, but the whole angle didn't make any sense anyway. But it's not the best Rock Triple H match. They would have better. So that's
overall. Right. I think it's like it's a 0 because you can't. But I give the guys the fact that they had the effort. They went out there. They were told by the boss, the guys that Ty eloquently told, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
those guys, like they went out there.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just for their efforts.
Yep, for sure. All right, Mr. TL.
Okay, well, based on what Craig just said, I think I just gave it a 0.5 more than I would have.
Oh, okay.
But I could also see it's like you're saying, like Owen is like, hey, that guy went out there for me. That's cool.
Yeah.
I could also see Owen saying, wait, I died and they still don't stop the show?
Yeah.
What is it going to take?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I'm died and you guys are still going with the Intercontinental Championship.
And this is linked because you're not stopping the show because of the beef you still have with my brother. Is that what it's like? Exactly, right.
That's good. Brett always made a good point. If that was Shane McMahon that happened to, Vince McMahon is stopping that show.
Yeah. If that's Austin that happens to, or if that's the Undertaker that happens to, then
show's over, folks.
Show's done. Yeah.
Well, it literally the infamous was at WrestleMania 30 when Brock Lesnar broke the streak.
Yeah.
And Lesnar has Undertaker has the heart attack backstage after, Vince McMahon left WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Flat out left.
Yeah.
Before the main event to go to the hospital with him.
He went to the hospital with Taker, yeah. But the show still continued.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I will give to this also a 0.5.
Okay. Fair enough.
The 0.5 is I will give for what Craig just said of the guys still had to go out there and do a job and they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect them for what they had to do.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't want to. Mm-hmm. And even if it was against their best interests or against everything that they thought, they still did it.
Yeah.
And also that this is still a significant moment in the history of wrestling.
It is. Yeah.
But sometimes there's things in history that you don't want to go back to.
Yeah.
There's things you don't want to revisit. There's stuff you don't want to relive, but they happened.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need a little reminder that there is reality beyond this entertainment that we call professional wrestling.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
And it's a stark reminder.
Yeah. And so that 0.5 is because it does serve a purpose in the timeline of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But it is one of the darkest moments and one of the biggest black eyes that the WWF will ever have to shoulder, because they should have stopped that show.
And this basically, for the most part, ends wrestlers doing over the top stuff for entrances or well over, like almost endangering wrestlers' talent. And that's for quite a while. I want to say that unfortunately has kind of been eroded away as of late. Like, we're back to, wrestlers taking needlessly careless risks, especially in AEW in matches.
You say that, but Seth Rollins is injured once again for doing stupidity.
And that's right. So that's another thing too, right? This does. I was talking with Morehouse with a kind of you'll see it later on the channel here in the coming weeks and that stuff. We did another Royal Rumble who had a legitimate shot at show. And this one will be coming up in a few weeks. It's on the 1997 Royal Rumble. And we were talking kind of off air. I don't think it made the podcast, but we were talking off air. And we basically were saying is that, unfortunately, the right amount of time has passed that we could, and heaven forbid I'm speaking this into existence. That's not my intent by saying it. But we're getting to the point where it's dangerously close that it could happen again, where we lose somebody in the ring on a major show. So,
yeah, and I'm 95% sure it would happen in AEW.
I mean, yeah, you can't, dare I not speak it into existence
again? I'm not speaking it into existence, but you guys are right that wrestling is getting more dangerous. They are taking more risks for all these things for the sake of entertainment. And when AEW they keep trying to go further and further and further, they're putting the business back further and further and further. Didn't Kota Ibushi just break a femur? Yeah. He's out for a while off of a needless high spot during a television match. It wasn't even a pay-per-view. It was like in a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
In a 2-year contract, he's wrestled 5 matches because of injuries.
Yep.
And they keep going out there and doing this stuff. And it's like, for what?
Yeah. So
your ratings are down, your attendance is down.
Yeah. But
you think doing this stuff is going to bring people back or entertain them?
Yeah. So
they got to rethink what they're doing.
So this is so if anything, the Owen Hart tragedy is a cautionary tale, and it's like people should pay more attention to it. Otherwise, if we don't pay attention to history, we are doomed to repeat it. Look at current day United States of America.
Literally.
That's my only comment on that. So
there we go. Hey, well said.
Yeah, there we go. That's it for the show. I'll go into plug mode here. If you enjoyed this podcast or video cast and want to see more, we are available through here, tinyurl.com/NitroManiacTV. Craig Fraser's email address is gmail@craigfraser.com. No, just kidding. Just
it is not.
It is not.
You can email it. You can email it. I won't respond.
Doesn't mean it'll be correct. No, but I will give, where is it here? Your LARP, darkascensionlarp.com. Another plug. You guys had another successful season, I take it, and or in the
we've had a very good season so far. We've cracked the 30-player barrier again, which was good.
Cool.
We have our last game of the year, literally 7 days from now. Not 7 days, whatever. Next weekend, October 25th. We will be doing our last game of the year. Forecast looks pretty good. It's going to be degrees. It's not going to be plus 30 finally, so we're all going to get heat stroke. It's going to be nice. We're at Camp Mascabatoon. It's on the northwest shores of Pigeon Lake in Alberta. It's a place. We've got heated cabins, and we got a nice big hall and all this stuff. And it's going to be. We have everything set up for our big villain this year is going to be making some moves.
The big baddie's making his moves. Oh boy,
the big heel is coming out.
This is it. Yeah. Will the baby faces triumph, or will the heel reign supreme?
I'll tell you this: for the past 4 years, when it comes to the big season-ending game, the faces, they've been winning. They win the title. They've been getting the job done.
There you go.
Maybe it's time that the faces can't win.
It's a little humbling. Could be a little humbling. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Maybe this is at the end of WrestleMania X7. Stone Cold shakes the hand with McMahon. We don't know.
Maybe it's the end of WrestleMania 41 this year, where the heel Cena beats the face Cody Rhodes to become face Cena again. Because that's a podcast for another time. That's for the end of the year podcast when we all get together and talk about what the hell happened with that. But anyways, and Mr. TL, where can they reach you on? Oh, I should say you're over on the Blue Sky. Yes, the CP Fraser on Blue Sky, basically, right?
I'm on the Blue Skies.
The CP Fraser at blueskies.social. You can see it on the thing there. And Mr. TL, where can they see you? And
always exclusively on Twitter X at TMLOUTAN. I want the smoke, all the smoke, and nothing but the smoke.
It's coming.
I should have said, with all the fuck yous I gave out there, also want to say, as always, would be rest in peace, Owen Hart. We will never forget you.
And support the Owen Hart Foundation, everybody. This is a foundation that started by Owen's widow, Dr. Martha Hart, in Calgary. They do a lot of philanthropy work with less fortunate and a lot of developing country work and stuff and everything. And you go Google their stuff. It's pretty cool. Owen's two kids, Oj and Athena, are involved in it very heavily. And they also put on the Owen Hart Foundation tournament over in AEW every year, which is always a fun watch. I know you're going to say so, but hey, I like that. But hey,
I have nothing to say.
It's a fun watch.
I have nothing to say.
I do watch the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. It's good. So, but absolutely. Rest in peace to Owen Hart, and share in the comments your favorite Owen Hart match. We'll go around the horn quickly before we sign off and say basically our favorite Owen Hart match that we've seen, so far up to this point. My favorite Owen Hart match is basically that entire 1994 King of the Ring tournament run. The match, I think it's the semifinal match between him and the 1-2-3 Kid.
That's great.
Completely different than anything anybody was doing in 1994 at that time, and I love it. It's a New Japan junior heavyweight style wrestling in a WWF ring. It is sick. It is.
I love his entrance too.
Yeah,
where they open the doors and they have all the lights and stuff going on.
And he's ripping up the glasses. It's great. Yeah. And
then Kid just goes right through and does the suicide
the baseball slide. Yeah, right into it. Yeah.
That's awesome. A great one.
That's a great match. I love that one. So.
I have two favorites for Owen.
Okay.
The actual wrestling favorite is him versus Bulldog for the inaugural European Championship in Germany on Raw.
Not to cut you off, I just have to go pee. I'll be back.
Okay. Go for it. Craig Fraser is ducking out for a quick second, but anyway, you're saying that. Go for it.
European Championship inauguration match against the British Bulldog on Raw in Germany. One of the finest wrestling matches you will ever watch, period. My other one, it's talked about, but it's not actually a match you could see. It is Owen Hart versus Mankind with Stone Cold Steve Austin at ringside.
Oh, cool.
And the whole match Owen is trying to get Stone Cold to break character. And he's at a ringside, and I have actual footage for some reason of this house show of like Stone Cold is at the edge of the ring of the apron. He's doing this.
He's corpsing.
Yeah, and he's just he can't stand it. Like these guys are just joking everything. Like at one point,
it's the Tori Wilson meme. They're sending for the man at that point.
Yes,
yes.
But at one point in this match, they're going out into the crowd, into the concession stand. And they've robbed the cotton candy and the drinks guy of their stuff.
Yeah.
And Mankind has a bag of paper cup lids. It's a bag of lids.
Yeah.
And he hits Owen with it. And Owen is selling like he's been hit with a metal pipe.
With the steel just steps at ringside. They're like 600 pounds. Yes.
Yeah. But he's hit him with a bag of disposable cup lids.
Yeah.
And then the bag explodes and the lids are like flying in the air. And Owen's just like, no, like they're cutting him or something. And Stone Cold's on the apron like this. He's just like, he goes, you guys are the shits.
Yeah. It's too bad Owen Hart didn't live long enough to see Chikara, because Owen Hart and Chikara would be just phenomenal. But anyway,
I don't know, man.
As a one-off independent appearance in the 2000s, would be great.
I think him and Brett would have actually hated that for the amount
probably.
of like stupid comedy.
Yeah. That too,
because there's time to be serious and there's time to joke.
Yeah,
but when it's time to joke, there was a few better than Owen Hart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The amount of shenanigans he used to pull, especially at the house shows, and this match we're talking about, him and Mankind with Stone Cold at ringside, doing everything they could just to make Stone Cold break. That was their only objective in that match.
Yeah. So, Craig, what's your favorite Owen Hart match you've seen so far in either these deep dives or whatever? So,
I think my favorite one is maybe Owen Hart versus Brett, WrestleMania 10.
That's a great one. That's a classic. That's so cool.
One of the best opening matches in the history of everything.
The greatest opening match in the history of anything, in my opinion. Nothing has touched it at that point. Yeah.
Yep.
There's been some good ones as of late, but it's still top.
That's the standard.
It's the standard. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's still the standard. So, but anyways, for myself, for Mr. TL, for Craig P. Frazier, I'm Cal Nitro. Later days. Happy wrestling watching, folks. We'll see you next time here on the channel. So have a great one, folks. As I see, where's the outro? There it is right there. Okay, have a great one. See you later, guys. Bye.
You got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.